Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm not Donna Robertson, but this is Fabric Cafe, and my name is John Nossel. And I'm going to be showing y'all a lot of kits today and just having a whole lot of fun, showing you some neat things. And today my assistant is going to be my lovely wife, Patricia, and she's going to be joining us today, and she's going to be holding up quilts. And Hannah is here, but she's behind the camera. So we're going to have some fun with that today. So thank you. So before we get started in our show, I just really wanted to say thanks again for all of the feedback that we're getting on what shows y'all want to see. So today we're really excited. We've got a great show for you, and this one's really, a big thanks goes out to Joanne Atkins, Denise Pastore. See, I'm having fun like this, like you did the other day, Hannah. And then Artist Young are three ladies that suggested today's topic for us. And without further ado, today's topic is men and boys. Those guys are kind of hard whenever you're trying to find fabrics that are going to work well for them. You've got just kind of tone-on-tone stuff that you could do, but we've got some really great things today that we're going to share with you. So let's go ahead and get started with that. But before we do that, let's talk a little bit about who Fabric Cafe is and what we've got in case this is your first time to join us today. So we've got a whole pile of quilt books that we have. Each one of the books has 8 patterns in it. The beautiful thing about all of these books is the patterns are designed for 3 yards and multiples of that. So a lap size quilt, approximately 45 by 60, is the average lap size quilt that are here. And then we also have the instructions in the book for making it bigger. So you can use 6 yards of fabric, or two of our kits. Well, it'll give you a nice twin size quilt, and 4 will give you a nice queen king topper. So it gives you all those instructions in here. Let's take a look at one of those real quick. So you'll see in the books that we start out at the beginning. We give you all of our basic instructions for cutting and how we word things and all of that, talking about how we lay it all out, and gives you the instructions that you need there. And then with the individual patterns, you'll see that we've got the assembly diagram for our lap size quilt. And then over in the colored box area on each one of the patterns, you're going to see that we have the twin topper and the king queen topper here for each one of those, and it talks you through all of those. So anyway, let's get started here. Let's take a look at our first quilt today. And our first quilt is a really pretty kit. This is actually one that we haven't shown a whole lot. It's been a couple of months since we've shown an example of this, but this one is called Easy Street. So we got a great 10-inch block here. So we've got a great spot for a focus fabric. And then we've got a separate little motif with 2 smaller blocks in there. So it gives us a really nice combination of looks on that. And then these great borders out here on the side. So you get to highlight that darker fabric that you've got. So let's go ahead and take a look at one of the samples that we're doing. And so we've got one here that we're calling Timberland Trail, and this is a really neat one for the guys because we've got wildlife on it. So we've got some bears and some moose and some deers and all of that, and even a little bit of fabric fuzz on there. So let's look at these a little bit closer. So we've got that really nice dark focus fabric there. We've got our number 2 fabric, which we refer to in our instructions is generally always going to be our lighter fabric that we have. So we've got this nice, almost looks a little bit like deer tracks in here. And then we've got the same type, same manufacturer of that fabric. We also got this nice brown that'll be our number 3 fabric, and will work to really nicely as your borders in this situation. So we're calling this one Timber Trail, and again we're suggesting that Easy Street pattern. And this is also one of the patterns that's out of Easy Peasy. Whew, tongue twisters. And here's you an example of what Easy Street looks like. And so this is a great kit, and that number is what you could look up there. You could also just search for those last 3 digits. Another great tip for you is if you go in and on our website in the top left-hand corner, you'll see there where our 3-yard kits are. We have a category under there called Men and Boys. So all of the kits that we're showing today are going to be under that category. So if you want a quick look at those, you can find those there on our website. Okay, the next one that we've got is going to be another gorgeous kit that's using a the bold blocks pattern. This is a great one, and I mean, I'll send a great shout out to all of our firefighters and our first responders out there for having to deal with everything that they're going through with our current situation. So kudos to all of those out there. We don't have this fabric any longer, but this is a great example of another big 10-inch block on here where we can have a great focus fabric and really does some nice things with that. So let's take a look at this next kit that we've got coming up. And you're doing good, Hannah. Hang in there.
I apologize to all watching if the camera goes wonky.
It's all good. So this one we're calling Bon Appetit. And, you know, we've got a lot of guys out there that just love cooking and things like that. I'm actually one of those. I do most of the cooking in our house. So this is a really fun one. This great little chef character, and he's, you know, showing us some wine and some pizzas and, you know, a salad, a pasta dish and all of that. So this is a great one if you've got a chef in your family, or maybe if it's even an aspiring young chef. And we've got this great tan as our number 2 fabric. And then our number 3 fabric is this lovely green with these little circles on it, almost like little dinner plates, or maybe even a little pasta like olives or something like that. And again, this one is called Bon Appetit. It's using the bold blocks pattern, which you saw that Patricia was showing you there a moment ago. And here's what that pattern looks like. And so Bon Appetit is number 8020457. And that's also out of our Pretty Darn Quick book. Okay, so let's look at our next one here. Y'all heard us talking about some of our last chance quilts. These are kits that we've just got 1 or 2 left on them. Here's an example of one of those that we've got coming up. And again, this is another bold blocks. And this one is called Revved Up, and this is our second version of this. This is that real fun one you might have seen a couple of weeks ago in one of the videos that we did, where the cars are almost like they're quilted themselves. Really kind of a fun one with having all of the little fabric blocks on it. You can kind of see the little edges on the fabric on here. Just a fun little fabric, and great if you've got that guy in your life that just loves his old cars and stuff. So our secondary fabric on this is this nice tan. And then our third fabric is this fun green with these little circles and triangles and little asterisks on there. And again, this is one of our last chances. So this last chance is called Revved Up 2. And we're suggesting that bold blocks pattern like we saw in the previous quilt. And we've got just 3 of these left. And they will go fast because our first edition of Revved Up went really quick too. Okay. So our next one that we've got coming up is Stepping Stones, one of our really big popular patterns that we've had. So Stepping Stones is another one of these gorgeous patterns, and this is a fabric that we still actually have this fabric in stock, and I'll tell you what that is in just a second here. But this is great. It's got that nice big 8-inch block on here and this nice cascading steps going across this quilt, and it's a really pretty one. So let's have you put this up on the table. And we're going to look at this one a little bit closer. So let's bring that over here a little bit. So we are going to be showing an example of this in this music fabric. And with that music fabric, we've got a lot of musicians out there, a lot of guys that like playing music. And so we're going to be showing you an example of this one. So like Donna does a lot, we've got these our blocks kind of made up on this. So working with our 2 different blocks that we have in this quilt of Stepping Stones, we're able to go in here and make up those strips. So if you aren't familiar with how our patterns go together, we do everything in strip form. So literally we would cut the strip of orange with the fabric, so that's selvage to selvage. And then the turquoise that we've got here, we do the same thing, and we'll sew those 2 strips together to come up with one of our units. And then we'll go in and cut out individual pieces of that so that we get our individual little parts so that we can start putting together our blocks. So let's take a look at how one of these blocks go together. So we're going to be looking at this block right here. And so we'll literally go in and we'll start putting our pieces in here so that we can see what this would look like using this music fabric. So as you can see, that turns out really nicely. And hey, we got our croppers over here. So let's put these in here so you can see what this is going to look like. I think this is going to be a really pretty quilt. So if you've got a teenager that's in band or that's really into music, this would be a great one for them. So let's look at these fabrics a little closer. You ready to do that? Mm-hmm. Okay. So we've got the great, kind of, this almost reminds me of something that Jimi Hendrix would put together with these bright colors and all of that. So we've got a lot of the instruments in here: violins, saxophones, trumpets, and tenor saxes, all kinds of neat things in here. And then we've got this great little secondary rust color. And then I think this turquoise with these little ripples. We were talking earlier about whether this was kind of like the, sound waves coming off of it, or like raindrops falling into a puddle, which is kind of how we are here today in Tyler. Got a little bit of the effects from that hurricane down in the Gulf of Mexico visiting with us. So this one is called Fine Tuning. And again, we're suggesting the Stepping Stones pattern for this one. And Stepping Stones is out of the Pretty Darn Quick book. So I haven't mentioned it yet, but if you buy 3 of our kits, you can get one of our books for free. We've got an option in there whenever you're selecting your pattern called the book deal. And you're able to go in and select that book for free if you're wanting to get 3 kits and that book deal. So very good. So again, this is the fine tuning kit. And get some things picked up here. I don't know how Donna does this every couple of days. This is a lot of work. And we appreciate all of y'all looking and watching our episodes each week. By the way, the example quilt that we had here, this fabric was called Watercolor Gardens, and it was 802043, and that is one of the kits that we do have available on our website. Okay. And our next one is Sweet Times. For all the pet lovers out there, this is a really fun fabric. And I believe, do we still have more of that fabric?
We do not. We have a number 2 version up there, but we are all out of that black.
Okay. So the new version of that, in the black area here, it's actually a black dot.
Mm-hmm.
A black fabric with a white dot on it. And it's another great option there. So this is another one of our fun kits from Easy Peasy book. And again, we've got this great big block here that gives you a great focus fabric. So let's go ahead and take a look at the suggestion that we're coming up with this one. So if you've got one of those guys in your life that just loves getting out in the outdoors, this one is called First Frost. And we've got these great little watercolor deer on it, and just really a gorgeous fabric. Got a little bit of a holiday feel to it, with a little bit of what appears to be a little holly or something in the trees in here, but all the snowflakes and everything. So a really nice kind of a wintry scene that's great for the guy in your life. And then our number 2 fabric is this nice brown. And then our number 3 fabric is this nice tone-on-tone blue little flower. A great little set of fabric in this one. This one's called First Frost. And we're suggesting the Sweet Times pattern. And First Frost, Sweet Times is out of our Easy Peasy book. So this is a great little kit that would be really nice for one of the guys in your life. Okay. And we got another last chance here for you. We've got a last chance that has some Labradors on it. Or golden retrievers. Uh-oh, I'm going to do a Donna thing here. Let's get the dogs upright. So this is another great one that would work really well with Sweet Time. So you're going to have that nice big block with your Labradors on it, and then we've got our secondary fabric, which is this nice little beige kind of a weave look to it. and then this nice brown that really coordinates nicely with it. So this is another one of our last chances, and we currently have 2 of these left. And it's called My Best Friend, and it's 8020306. And using that easy peasy again would make a great kit for the dog lover in your life. Okay, we got, yeah. Okay, we got another one that we're going to play with here. It's this is our 9-patch pattern, and this is a great example of one of those challenges you might have. You might have a fabric or something like that that's got a really big print on it, and you can't really figure out how to use it because you don't want to do a big block in the middle of your quilt necessarily. And in this situation, we've gone in and we've cut up a larger print into these smaller blocks to give you some really nice variety in this. It almost looks like you have more than 3 fabrics in this quilt, and it works nice to be able to go in and cut them up and come up with a little bit of variety. So we've got an example of that in this quilt. So we're going to put this one on the table, and we're going to look at that one. And this is a really interesting kit. So this is the 9-patch, and so you can see that we've got 2 different blocks in here. We've got the lighter block and then we've got the darker block. And so we can go in and using a very large print fabric, go ahead and kind of look over here real quick with the camera. So you can see I've got this large print and this large motif on here, and it might not be something that we really want to use, but we can get in there and start cutting it down to add some really unique interest into the design of the quilt. So we've gone in with our 9-patch, and we can come in here with this lighter block, and we can set that in there so you can start getting an idea of what it looks like when we go in and cut this up. And again, this is a strip method that we've done this with, so we can see on this particular one that I've gone in and done 3 different strips with the fabric to be able to go in and create it up the first unit that we have. And then we'll go in and cut those up into individual blocks like this, and then we can go ahead and put them in here appropriately where we need them within our design. So let's put together one of these. So I've gone in and I've cut 3 strips or 3 blocks off of each of these, and we can very quickly go in and assemble this. Let me scoot this over. There we go. And you can see how we start getting a really unique design of this, even though we had a very large print in some of these blocks, and it goes together to be a really pretty combination of fabrics. So let's look at these fabrics just a little bit closer here. So our number 1 fabric is using that very large print, like I said, and then our number 2 is this light gray, which I think is just pretty by itself. And then this number 3 fabric, kind of almost like water, comes up with our focus fabric, our lightest fabric, and then our darkest fabric. We always like to use that darkest fabric in our borders so that it really helps the kit or the design of the quilt to really pop a little bit more. So this kit is called Coastline, and it's using our 9-patch, and with that it's also available in Quilt Favorites, which is one of our early books. So 9-patch is a great pattern that Fran Morgan and Donna Robertson designed together using just 3 yards of fabrics. So we didn't mention that Quilt Favorites is one of our older books. It's no longer available in print. I'm going to pull a Donna here real quick and get a quick drink. So Quilt Favorites is one of our older books, and right now it's only available through download as a downloadable book because it is out of print. And it works great because you're able to go up and purchase that, download that to your computer, and then you're able to go in and print it out. One of the things that we've done is we like to put them in 3-ring binders so that we can have them, so we can very quickly access them. So in this particular example, we can look at that 9 patch that we have in here. So you can see that I've got all of the instructions from that book nicely laid out in my 3-ring binder, where I've gone in and printed out that downloadable pattern. So that's a great additional thing you can do, especially if you happen to be one of our international customers, and shipping can be a little bit more expensive going to some of those distant locations for you. Okay, town square. Okay, we're doing good there. And next, okay, this is a personal favorite of mine. So we're going to go take a look at a pattern called Town Square. I think this is a really fun pattern because we've got that focus fabric, and then we kind of got an offset pattern behind it. It goes together really neat, how that goes together. It's a really fun design and gives you that great opportunity for that focus fabric in there. And that one's using also about an 8-inch block, so you're able to you're able to get in there and have just a really nice print. We do have this fabric still available. It's called Pet Pictures and using Town Square. So if you're interested in getting that nice fabric kit with that one, it's called Pet Pictures. Okay, so let's look at the fabric that we're suggesting with this. So this is, for all the Trekkies out there, this is some of the classic Star Trek with Kirk and Spock and everybody. And we've got this really fun print with blues and golds and grays, and makes a great potential kit for a guy. And our secondary is this nice yellow. Get it to really pop in here with the gold that's in Captain Kirk's uniform there. And then we've got the blue diamonds here that complements nicely with the blue in their pants and even Spock's shirt. So this is a great great quilt kit that all the Trekkies might like out there. So it's called Star Friends, and we suggest using that Town Square like what you saw with Pet Pictures. And this is also a pattern that's from Easy Peasy. So Town Square and Star Friends. Okay, what do we got? Town Square. Okay, this is another really neat one in the theme of space. We've got all these little planets on here. It's a really fun one. We're calling this one Galaxy. And the Galaxy's got 3 gorgeous little fabrics in it. Again, all tying them together. So we've got this nice light blue, kind of a tone on tone. Got a little bit of brush mark in that one. And then our darkest fabric is this really neat starry sky pattern. And these 3 work together really nicely. Would look great in that Town Square pattern. Again, this one's called Galaxy. And it's 8020416. And we're also suggesting the Town Square pattern. So our next kit that we have coming up is going to be taking a look at So Quick. And So Quick is it literally lives up to its name. We've got this great big 10-inch block on here, and then a real simple 4-patch. So this can literally go together in 4 or 5 hours. You can put together this complete quilt top, and it's just a wonderful quilt kit and is really nice for that. So let's take a look at some fabrics here that we would suggest of that. I know a lot of you have a young boy in your life that just loves getting out there and playing in a pond or a creek and finding frogs and bugs and all of that. This is going to be a fun one for that young man in your life. So we've got this wonderful little froggy fabric with frogs and bees and bugs and all kinds of neat things that little boys just love. Or maybe you've got that adult bug lover in your life. And then we've got this really neat stripe in it. And then we've got our third fabric is another yellow with some more bugs and worms on it. So this one is called Froggy Friends. So Froggy Friends is a great little kit. Its number is 8020460, and we are suggesting the So Quick quilt pattern. And this one is one of the patterns from 3-Yard Quilting Favorites, and a great little pattern set from that. And our next one up is another great one called Pretty Please. So Pretty Please is the wonderful because you get a nice little focus fabric here, and then you got this kind of box on box look. It looks like it's a complicated pattern, but again, all of our patterns are designed on a strip method. So if we were to get in here and look at this real close, we'd see we've got a piece of our number 3 fabric here, and then we put little strips on the sides of that, and then we've got more strips out here, so it all goes together very quickly in that strip method. And then here's a great example of us putting a really dark print out here on the side of that. And so let's take a look at the suggested kit that we have here today. And is this Thomas the Train? Let's look at the subway here real quick. Chuggington. Don't know that. So we've got Chuggington here, and he's got his catchphrase of "Let's ride the rails," and it's this great little red and grays together. And then we've got a secondary gray here. That's that great kind of a marbly tone on tone look. And then we've got this blue that looks a little like a train theme. And these three all go together just beautifully. And we're suggesting that Pretty Please, and it is using the Pretty Please pattern, and we have all of that together for you in this kit. That's 8020466. It's Ride the Rails. Okay, the next one we've got is 9+1. So the 9+1 is kind of a, you saw the 9 patch that we had earlier, and it, so we've gone in and given you a 9 patch, but we've also given you a large block. So you've got a nice focus fabric in that. And with that, it comes together really nicely. So you've got all of that. And again, this is just 3 yards of fabric that's making all of the quilt top on this. So let's look at the sample fabric that we've got. And for all you Disney fans out there, you're going to love this one. We've got this great Mickey Mouse with the boat steering wheel on here. I'm sure there's a better name for that than what I just said it was. So we've got this fun little Mickey Mouse pattern, and we've got this lovely yellow that's kind of got a little bit of a nautical compass look to it, and then a fun little blue squares all put together, and we're calling this one Steamboat Willie the Second. You've had another Steamboat Willie earlier in the year, and this is a new version of it for you. And we're suggesting using that 9+1 pattern. And that 9+1 is a great size. If you ever see any of our patterns, either at one of our shows that we're hopefully going to be in again next year, or if you have one in your hands, you're able to go in the bottom right-hand corner, you're able to see what that finished size is for that particular quilt design. So again, this was Steamboat Willie the Second. And we've got a couple of more here that we're getting into our last chances for today. And again, these are some more great kits that you can find for guys. You can also look at our last chances as one of the categories that you can see underneath the 3-yard quilt kits in the top left-hand corner of our website. So for all of you that might be Guardian of the Galaxy fans, this is a great one that we've got with all of the characters from that. Looks like this is from the second movie because we've got the raccoon character in here. But we've got the main focus fabric there. You've got a really nice gold pattern. It brings out some of the golds that are in this Guardian symbol. And then our black number 3 fabric will really make this one pop nicely. And we're calling this one Guardians. And we are suggesting the Tic Tac with that. And again, this is one of our last chance kits, and we have only 2 left. So if you're interested in Guardian of the Galaxy, this would be a great one to grab. Don't wait, because it will go quick. And I believe last but not least, we've got a John Deere tractor kit, because, you know, big boys have their toys too. And so, of course, we got this great John Deere tractor theme on here and their logo. So this is definitely a licensed fabric that we got from one of our suppliers. And we've got this great green vine. Hopefully the garden isn't looking like that. And then this nice gold and green that kind of ties it all together and gives us a really nice option for the guys in your life. And again, we're calling this one Big Green Tractor. And we are suggesting the Checkmate pattern. And this is another one of our last chance with 3 of these left on our website. Okay. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the show today. Sorry that Donna wasn't able to be here today. She's gone up to spend some time with family for a long weekend, and actually Patricia and I are going to be joining her tomorrow, and we're actually having a little family get together. We're having a memorial service for my grandma and everything, and now things are kind of eased up a little bit with some of the restrictions that we had, but thank you for Patricia joining us today, and I do want to send out just a little small hey out to Janet Moose. Yeah, Janet Moose. Janet Moose is a friend of ours over in North Carolina. That's a long classmate of Patricia's. Yeah. And so we've been talking with her, and she's actually been buying some kits for us. So howdy out to Janet. And so anyway, from all of us here at Fabric Cafe that are holding the fort down while Donna's out, we hope to see y'all again next week. Tuesday we've got Patriotics. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we've got some Patriotics. We've got some great new kits that we just got in. In fact, we've been out there cutting fabric most of the day today, getting ready for that show next week. So be sure to like us, and if you have any questions, comment it down below, and we hope to see you again next week. So for Fabric Cafe, this is John Mossel. Have a great day.